This video is about consistency with your Medigap plan. Okay, so we're going through some tough times with the coronavirus and everything else that's going on in the country. And a lot of times what happens when stuff like this goes on, people want to switch, jump ship. They're listening to a lot of details from the news that sways their mind in one direction or the other. And the one thing that I can say is, when it comes to a Medigap plan, you want to be consistent and try to stay put as much as you can if you like your plan. I've had a lot of people, just like if you take it like the stock market or something like that, there's always these things that come about that get hyped and so forth. And in the long run, sometimes it hurts people. Now, the one thing I can say is, same thing, you can always switch your Medicare Advantage plan every year, so you don't have to worry about that. You might have a bad year on one plan, something you don't like their prescription drug plan. They don't give you the benefits that maybe another plan does. I mean, right now, you have some plans that are giving thousands of dollars for dental. You have Medicare Advantage plans that are giving vision, dental, and hearing, a great prescription drug plan, great medical benefits, zero premium. There's a lot of good things happening. So the one thing that I can say is, don't get tempted to go for something that might look like it's too good to be true, because sometimes it is. The reason why I say that is everything can go up in price, and everything, especially with the Medicare Advantage plans, they can start dropping things off of the plan. So just like everything else, they can raise the price and keep the benefits, or drop some benefits and keep the price. They can do either or. So you don't want to just completely abandon your Medigap program if you're happy with it and you're not paying too much money for your plan. Now, I've said this many times before. We're in 2020 right now. It is around March, and the plans are fantastic. And somebody who's watching this who is going on to Medicare for the first time, or they have a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medigap plan in 2020, or possibly 2021, they might say to themselves, well, I'm trying to look at videos to see different products and see what I like that's out there, which is fine. One thing I can tell you is, so there are out-of-pocket limits when it comes to Medicare Advantage. Some people freak out, but if you have a PPO with a Medicare Advantage plan, whether it be Aetna, Cigna, whatever it may be, the out-of-pocket costs are mainly $6,700 a year, or they could be $10,000 a year total if it's a PPO and you go out of network. So I understand that's a lot of money, but those are extreme cases if something were to go wrong. And a lot of these plans are zero premium. You might have to pay for your prescription drugs and so forth, so that might cost you money. But if you allocate $7,000 into a bank account and just say, well, I'm going to keep this here until I deplete it for my medical expenses, or at least, maybe you can put the money that you would have spent on a Medigap plan, put that into a bank account, a separate bank account, each month. Let's say you were paying $150 or $300 a month for a Medicare supplement plan. You can put half of that, $150, into a bank account, and at the end of the year, you're going to have over $1,500. So that's something you might want to try and do. You do that for 2 years, all of a sudden you pretty much have whatever out-of-pocket expenses you might have paid for, if you're not too unhealthy. So that would be one of my advice for someone that wants to go on the Medicare Advantage plan. They have a Medigap plan, they're paying a little bit too much money, and they want to go to a Medicare Advantage plan, but they're not sure if they can. Take that money, allocate it to a different bank account, and then if something goes wrong, you're only going to pay, less than $7,000 if you go within network. So, I mean, you can make up that money pretty quickly if you put at least half of what your payment was for a Medigap plan into a separate bank account. I've always pitched Medigap plans as, if you like them and you're not really worried about the money, stay in them. I've had clients that have jumped ship. They had the money, but they took it as, well, I want to save money. This is March 2020. I'm looking at the stock market. A lot of baby boomers had lost way more money than they could ever imagine in the stock market in the last couple of weeks. So as far as your health insurance, you shouldn't play around with that. That should be something that you pay for each month, and that's like a set fee, that almost like an electric bill. Like you try to tone it down a little bit, but you got to live comfortably, and that's what your Medigap insurance is going to do for you. It's going to be a little bit more money, but you're going to live comfortably. If you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, you probably just want to look at different plans, but try not to jump around all the time. Try to measure each plan out and try to pick the best one. And if you're unhappy with it, then you can talk to your broker and switch and so forth. But the one thing about 2020 and beyond that I can say is try to be consistent. Reason why I say this is I always talk about the brokers that have been in this business for over 10 years. And the reason why 10 years is a pretty good marker is because we're going into a cycle now, which the people that have been in this business for over 10 years, they already know what is going to happen with the Medicare Advantage plans, Medigap plans, because they've seen it before. So my prediction for the Medicare Advantage plans are probably 2021, they will start raising their prices. There will no longer be a zero premium plan. They will start raising their prices. A couple companies might have zero premium, but they will start raising their prices. It will go from 0 to 25. Now, I always tell people, keep this in mind. If you're a company and you're charging zero premium, meaning you get on this plan, nobody has to write you a check each month. One of the questions that I always have is, well, how could somebody have a zero premium and not make money? Well, they're getting subsidized from the government. That's how they make their money for the plan. If they stop getting those subsidies, or if the subsidies go down, or if it becomes more expensive, they're going to have to charge a premium. And then all of a sudden they're going to charge, usually it's like $25. They'll charge a small increment that people will not be really hurt by. I mean, $25, most people say, okay, $25 a month for health insurance, not that big of a deal. But let's say there's 1 million people in that plan. They just made $25 million overnight. Imagine if they go to $50 a month, $75, $100. So within 4 years, they could make $100 million just by upping it in $25 increments each year. They do that, and they will do that in the future. I know it because I've been in this business a long time, and I've seen it happen before. It's a cycle. It's like a 10-year cycle. So my advice is to stop thinking about money so much. Think about the coverage that you want and how to afford that coverage. That's the most important thing. Because when it comes to your health, I've been in a situation before recently where I hurt my back. And when it comes to your health and you don't have good coverage, you start to get upset. My coverage is actually pretty good, but I didn't understand what the coverage was. I didn't understand there was different places I could go and what was covered, and it kind of drove me crazy. And when it comes to Medicare, it's pretty clean. It's pretty cut and dry. You can always call your broker and say, hey, what does this cover? How much is it going to be? And it's probably in your paperwork if it's a Medicare Advantage plan. If it's a Medigap plan, it's very clean, very easy. People call me and ask me questions, and it's really like a 2-minute phone call. So that's my advice to you. I hope this video helped. Please go to Medigaplist.com. There will be a link below the video. Don't just say, oh, I'll check out the website some other time. Check it out because there's videos on there. There's rates for different plans in certain states. So you can actually put in your age and your zip code and so forth and see how much different plans are in your area. Especially with Medicare Advantage, we update them once a year. The Med Sups, they get updated a little bit more frequently because they update not just every year, but they update sometimes in the middle of the year. So thanks for watching. Please click on the link, go to the website, Medigaplist.com, and I'll see you at the next video.